Hello everyone, welcome to our very first video of Kansas RTAP Peer Spotlight on COVID series. If you haven't watched the introduction video about this program, please do it now before watching this current video. So for this month, March 2021, we have Barabara Lilyhorn, who is the Director of Reno Area County Transportation from Hutchinson, Kansas.
Hello, my name is Barabara Lilyhorn. I'm the Director of Reno County Area Transportation in Hutchinson, Kansas, and I belong to CTD number 2. We are a 5311 grantee. We operate fixed route, paratransit, and county service rural on demand. We have 18 vehicles in our fleet, and the question today is, how did COVID-19 affect RCAT and daily service operations in the early days of the pandemic? Well, I think like everyone else, the big question for us in March was how to imagine the impact that COVID-19 was going to have on our community, and how were we going to be able to address that and be able to provide service. The first action that we took was to begin to educate ourselves and our drivers about what COVID-19 was, and we did that through having CDC handouts posted throughout the building and in the break room, and talking about it with our staff. We also posted the handouts in the lobby area and in the buses so that we could begin to educate our riders as well. The first thing that we really did was to begin social distancing on the buses by marking off the buses, and we followed that with upping our cleaning schedule on the buses as well. We met with other department heads across the county, and we took advice from our emergency management director, who was a great resource. Nobody knew how long it was going to take for COVID-19 to get to Kansas, but we decided to address it as if it were already here. So we decided to split our staff and have half of them stay home for a week and half of them work for a week. So that caused us to have to alter our schedule, our routes and hours a little bit. But we felt that the steps that we made were able to meet the needs of the public under the circumstances that we had at hand. Another thing we did was to sit down and to develop a plan based on what we projected might happen. And that gave us certain cut points that we were able to follow throughout the pandemic, so that when a certain thing happened, it would automatically cause us to take a certain action. And one of those things involved our drivers and who was going to be fit to work. So we set parameters for how many drivers we needed to have to operate successfully at what level. So we had one measurement that was, if we ever reached the point where we had 10 drivers who were out either for a planned or an unplanned leave for longer than 5 days, that we would in fact stop fixed route service, and that we would go strictly to on-demand service. And we knew that at that point that was going to cause us to contact KDOT and ask for their permission to do that, and then of course go into a lot more media to inform the public. But that's just kind of an idea of the parameters that we set for certain steps that were going to take place. Some of the things have held true throughout this time period, and some of them we have gone in and we have readjusted. One thing that we didn't expect were the number of drivers that would be indirectly affected by COVID, by having family members who needed to quarantine because of their exposure at work. And throughout this time, there's also been a change in the time period that people had to quarantine. So this has been a little bit fluid, but it did give us a basis to go on, and we did appreciate that. Like everyone, I'm sure you saw a drop in ridership. We did somewhat. Our riders did a very good job of taking our direction and also acting appropriately. They began to self-limit their trips. They wore masks. And we like to believe that because RCAT took steps early on and began to wear masks in April and took it seriously, that then our passengers did as well. Throughout this time, it's been a real learning experience. Our riders, as soon as the days turn nice and they're out there and they want to continue to take their essential trips. So we do believe that we have continued to provide a very valuable service throughout this time, and that people have been very understanding of the changes that we've had to make along the way. Another thing that is true is that our community has been so appreciative that RCAT has remained in service. And we hear that over and over again. They're just glad. They understand sometimes when we have to make changes, but they're just glad that we're still there for them. Thank you.
Thank you all for watching the video, and I would like to thank Barbara for sharing Reno County Area Transportation services and safety measures taken due to the pandemic COVID-19. Please let me know in the comment section below your experience and how your agency has taken necessary steps in response to COVID-19. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to share it with your friends, colleagues, and agency staff. If you have any questions or input or suggestions on any new topics that you would like to see, please leave us a comment below. And make sure to subscribe to our brand new channel on this YouTube to get more updates on transit and transportation in the state of Kansas. And we'll see you next month.